Hey Dennis, welcome to the pod, my man. Thank you so much for joining us today and having a discussion on hypnosis.
Thanks for having me, Stefano. I'm so excited to be your guest today. I can't wait to be more into this podcast with you because I heard a lot of great stuff about your podcast, and I can't wait to share my story with you. So thanks for having me.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks. It's always a blessing to have somebody on and to crack open another section of knowledge in the brain. Um, for the people that don't know who you are, maybe don't know what hypnosis is, don't know how to reprogram their subconscious and get what they want in life, can you give us a little background on who you are, what you do, how you got started into all of this, and kind of the world of hypnosis in a nutshell?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I started off learning as a hypnotist first in back in 2015. So we're in 2025 today, so literally 10 years ago. I was hypnotized by a fellow student in a programming school where it was IT programming, and a student, a fellow of mine, actually did me a hypnosis demonstration. Once he did the demonstration, I was on. I literally had to learn everything I can about hypnosis. So this is exactly what I did for the last decade of my life. I spent a lot of money and education about hypnosis. So I went to NLP seminars, hypnosis, Ericksonian hypnosis seminars, and also rapid inductions. Everything that constitutes what modern hypnosis is about. I learned everything that I could about it. So yeah, I'm now officially a master practitioner of NLP. I don't know if you heard of NLP.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar on it. I've gone to a couple of Tony Robbins seminars before, and I know that he's really big on switching patterns and helping people
Yeah.
get over their limiting beliefs. So I'm familiar with the word.
Mhm. So, for the audience, if they don't know what it is, NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, and what it is, actually, it's a form of hypnosis applied to communication. So, it's actually you can do hypnosis with or without a trance state, thanks to NLP.
Awesome. And is this something that can help people overcome like limiting beliefs? Is this something that helps people when it comes to changing their patterns, or what's the better word of looking at it? I know that it's typically used for phobias, but can this also help when it comes into the world of like manifestation when you're trying to attract more money?
Absolutely. It's NLP is it's more like a state of what you do with it than a particular outcome. So, if you want to manifest more gratitude or even more wealth in general in your life, it is 100% possible once you get the right application of NLP. So, it is possible. It only depends on how you do it.
Cool. So when we're talking about hypnosis in general, just because I think that there's so many routes that it can go, so much confusion online, so many people that want to tap in when it comes to manifestation, when it comes to hypnosis, when it comes to leaping into the quantum realm and all the subcategories that into it. Or what is hypnosis itself? Like, what isn't it as well? You know, because I want to kind of bust the myths that are around the entire topic so that people can have more of a solid foundation and understanding.
Okay, I can provide you with the answer, but first, when I talk to you, when I say hypnosis, what does this evoke to you? If you just think for a moment, what do you think when I say hypnosis? Before I give you the right answer.
So I think of hypnosis as reprogramming of the subconscious. I think of it as being able to elicit change through programming, essentially. Like, okay, I don't want to be smoking anymore, so I'm going to be more susceptible to the suggestion itself.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it, indeed. So basically, my approach to hypnosis, it's a pragmatic way, so meaning one problem, one solution to address a problem. So you were referring that people want to quit smoking. Well, thanks to hypnosis, I've done it myself. I've helped people quit smoking in one session, roughly half an hour, 1 hour, many times. It's a certain framework, it's a certain way of doing things. You have to basically do it the right way. Two sessions are literally different all the time. There's no script. The way our work is without any kind of script. But before I go too much into depth, into detail as I'm going right now, hypnosis is basically a way to free your mind, to control your own state of mind, the way you actually see things, the way you interact with yourself. And what it's not is actually somebody making you do something. That's the common way that things people feel about hypnosis is, oh, this guy is a hypnotist. I'm sure he will make me do stupid things like be the chicken on stage, stuff like that. Well, I'm not that kind of hypnotist, I promise. I don't really see the point. Well, there is some point in making people do stupid things on stage, but those people that do stupid things on stage, it's actually those that really want to be stupid on stage, if it makes sense.
Yeah, those are the ones that are sitting there that are wanting
Yeah.
validation or to be seen in the spotlight. So that kind of hypnotism, is that more just for entertainment? Are people willing to go along and play the part of that? Is it the same kind of mechanics to elicit those responses, or is it a little bit of, performance and showmanship as well?
Well, one thing you have to know is that the only cultures that actually have stage hypnosis are the cultures that actually do some change work as well. Because people, even though they have the false image of hypnosis first, at least they're intrigued by what it can do. So the stage hypnosis is more like the marketing side of things for about the communication side, if you would, the PR of hypnosis.
Mhm.
So some countries they don't even know the word hypnosis because there's no stage hypnosis. So I'm not saying that it's evil or any kind, but basically, yeah, I'm not into the stage part side of things.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a fair share by going to Vegas or nightclubs, or like when I was in college, we'd have, traveling hypnotists come through, and it is an entertainment aspect to it. But something that I always thought was interesting, because everybody, of course, wants to be a part of the show and see, like, what does it feel like? What can he make me do? Um, something that I've always heard them say, they kind of give the disclaimer, you can be very susceptible to it, but if you want it too much, you can't get into that state. Is that from just not allowing yourself to relax? Is this you just not believing in it? Like, is there a you have to be willing? Like, is there a point
Yes.
of you have to be willing, or is there a point of being too willing that you can't enter that state?
Well, ironically, you have to be willing to change if you do some change work, but you don't have to believe in it, especially. All you need is the intention to actually change. To if you were to be quitting smoking, if you really would want to quit smoking, but you say hypnosis is bogus, I don't believe in that kind of stuff. All you have to do is to believe and eventually trust that it will work. Trust in the process. Trust in your own ability to change. And me as a hypnotist in this case would be there to guide you to achieve the outcome that you wanted to reach.
All right, so there's a little bit of, I guess, this two separate minds. I've always understood it as you have your conscious mind and then you have your subconscious mind.
Yes.
And the subconscious mind is based on your paradigm, which is your habits, and it makes up for pretty much 95% of your life. So, with that being said, when it comes to the subconscious mind, how and why is it so resistant to change, even if you consciously want to make an effort, but you're stuck in your old programming? How is hypnosis able to bypass that so that you can actually start eliciting change in your life?
Well, actually, hypnosis, the conscious mind is, as you said, a very small percentage of what you use on the resources. If you were to be on computer, for instance, you have all the OS and the background programming that is actually doing everything on automatic. So the subconscious is, in a way, protected by itself because it's the foundation of everything. It's the way you actually behave and think in general. It's the way that actually makes you breathe, regulates your heartbeat, all that kind of stuff. And it would require so much energy if you were to pay attention to every part of it. That's why we have the subconscious part separated from the conscious part. Even the way you think, most of it is unconscious. Doesn't mean that you cannot be conscious about what you think, the way you think, be aware of it. But for efficiency, because the brain is really plastic first, but also it wants to be efficient because the brain is what it drains a lot of energy when you overuse it. So yeah, that's the difference between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. How does hypnosis help you bypass that though? Like, is it through affirmations? Is it through meditation? Is it through more awareness about the goal itself that you're trying to achieve? Like, how do you
Well,
override that programming?
if I were to explain it in simple terms, it's like you were shining a torch or a light in some directions of your brain or the way you see the things. So if you focus on your left shoulder right now, you didn't focus on it before I told you to focus on it. So it's
Mm,
me directing your conscious mind to what's important. It's really surgical if you think of it, because the way I guide you through the whole process is exactly where you have to put your attention to put the change work for yourself.
mm. Love it. So another way to be looking at it would be if you're trying to track something like a new car, because I feel like everyone's had this point in their life where it's, for me, I love Subarus, so I'm going to think Subaru Crosstrek, and I'm wanting to update and get a new car. Well, now I'm starting to see Subaru Crosstreks absolutely everywhere. They
Yeah,
always were there. I'm just starting to be aware of it now. Is that the same thing?
it's the same thing. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. Although you don't have to consciously be aware of all the Subaru dealerships you encounter to actually manifest a Subaru car. Once the time is right, then you will actually get it in your control. So
Hmm.
you can be consciously manifesting and unconsciously be manifesting as well. It all depends on the intent you have behind it. But the more you manifest and the more it will actually amplify and make it faster to happen.
Gotcha. And a couple of things that'll help that when it comes to the timing. Um, Cosmically, divinely, however way you want to phrase it, things happen when they're meant to happen. But are there any kind of tips or tricks or actions that we can be taking to help ensure that we are on the path, or maybe to kind of expedite the process, like through nervous system regulation, through visualization, through meditation, through common day activities and goals?
Basically, the harder you try, the harder it gets. What I mean by this is it's a matter of faith, believing it, and trusting in your own skills. Somewhat in a blind way, like the way you believe. I don't know if you're a believer, but faith works a bit like the same as manifestation. You have to somewhat give a part of yourself to the universe to make sure that without even any kind of guarantee, you just have to donate a part of yourself to some spirits to make sure that you have a chance to get there. But the more intense you believe, doesn't mean that you will have more chances to actually get it. That's what it gets tricky. It's you have to be open to it without any kind of tension of without wanting to force things to happen because uh, the more you believe in a very benign way, the more you will actually make it happen. If you strongly want with some kind of hidden intention, that's where it gets tricky.
Okay, so it's a matter of sitting in this place of detachment, to
Yeah.
feel that abundance and to feel that flow, because you're operating against a position of scarcity,
Mhm.
and that just keeps you in that state, um, of lack.
It's basically feeling like a whole and aligned with who you are really. And it's undescribable. That's why I stumbled with the concept. Is you know when it's done right, and when you try harder, you know when it's done wrong.
Hmm,
Same goes
understood.
with hypnosis.
Okay, gotcha. And how do you go about this when it comes to one style of action? Is it like, I want to think of the best way to phrase it. When you're looking at helping somebody either overcome a limiting belief or reach a targeted goal. Let's say
Mhm.
smoking again. If someone's trying to um, quit smoking versus someone who's trying to live a more abundant and attract more money into their life, is the programming going to be similar? Is it something that's more personally structured? I know that you said that there's a uh, sessions are different. Like snowflakes are not two that are alike. But is the
Exactly.
is the overall formula going to be in a similar kind of fashion of here's how we reprogram, here's what we focus on, here's kind of a protocol that we typically like to stick to?
Sure, there's so many protocols, and actually, there's many ways of actually practicing hypnosis from somebody to quit smoking in this case. Um, so first, you've got the an anamnesis step where you actually ask direct questions to the person to see where the problem is found. like why people smoke in general. Then there's other kind of questions to see which has to be fixed. And then there's the trance work, and afterwards there's the recap to see if you have to do some change based on the first session. You can basically combine several sessions, one after the other, in the same time frame, because there's a thing called fractionation, which means that one session is stronger after another, the shorter it happens after the first one. So there's indeed somewhat of a framework I can follow, but it's always custom built, custom made in depending on the case.
Is that due to just it being a sense of familiarity, or you're establishing a foundation, you're just adding more and more and more to strengthen it?
Well, it's more somewhat of a framework. Um, after somewhat of mastery, after mastering hypnosis for so long, I basically improvise all the time, and because I trust my skills.
Mhm.
But if I were to teach somebody how to make somebody quit smoking, for instance, I would only say ask them this kind of questions, develop the questions like what you mean by this kind of word and this kind. Well, I have the framework, a basic framework I can apply for a basic quit smoking session, and for more advanced people, I can advise somewhat range of techniques in this situation. Like the swish patterns, for instance, could be something.
Mm.
Time distortion can be something else. Even perhaps you can be inspired of the phobia cure, not applied to smoking, but you can use somewhat of the ideas of this kind of stuff. It all depends on the case, on the person.
What do you see most common when it comes to maybe working with men? If you have, well, I guess first off, do you have an ideal client? Do you prefer working with men? Do you prefer working with women? Does it matter? And then what's something that you see most commonly? Are these people trying to get over phobias or maybe towards a targeted goal?
Well, I really like online coaches in general because those people are called to help people out. So my goal is to help ideally ideal online coaches or even coaches in general, so I can provide them with the right skills so they can impact more people in the world. Because I can only help so many people a day, and if I can spread the word and actually provide them with those skills, that's a great plus. Also, I really like people that have strong limiting beliefs in this case, but anything that's really blocking their life, that's putting them into difficulties. But those that really want to get out of it, like they're really motivated to do so. That's what I mean. The stronger the envy, the better I'm motivated to help them.
Mm, awesome, awesome. And I know that there's a lot of people that are entering the coaching space. It's such a booming industry right now, and I think that's phenomenal that people want to use their expertise to serve the world and help reshape it as well. Um, but we all also kind of fall in, and I don't want to generalize, but when I say all of us, I think majority of people at one point or another feel a sense of imposter syndrome because I
Yeah.
found that two of our primary needs or fears are always going to be I'm not enough, or I'm not worthy. Like I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. Um, and that limiting belief, I'm curious on really how you approach that to begin. Is this similar to maybe talk therapy or journaling or inner child work? I know that this kind of dives deep into the psychology of what causes these traumas to be embedded in us. How does hypnosis kind of differ from these somatic principles or journaling exercises and allow somebody to embrace a new identity and be able to step forward and move in their life?
Well, as I told you, I see it in a very pragmatical way. So basically, what you refer to is basically your inner dialogue or monologue that is actually criticizing what you do. Is that correct?
Mhm.
To sum it up. So if I were to address this particular issue, what I would do is simply change the voice, make it encouraging and stuff like that, instead of focusing on the why. It's not that the why is not important. Of course, the why is there for a reason, but focusing on what made it happen. I can bring you back with a verification if needed, but I only revivify positive things. So if the root of the cause is negative, I'm not interested in it. I can bring you back before the event occurred to like chop the tree, the branch of the tree, so
Mhm.
that it's completely fixed in a very schematical way. But
Mhm.
yeah, the why in itself isn't really interesting to me. It's you get the answers within yourself. You actually, this is what I mean by actually believing in in your own way of doing things. It's a shared way of handling the situation. If I were to hypnotize you for this particular situation, we would do it together to make sure that it's fixed.
Mhm. Mhm. And how does this help when it comes to things like self-sabotage or maybe emotional reactivity or procrastination? Because I think a lot of people suffer with that as well. Is that also a limiting belief of saying, let's go back to the root, let's uncover it, let's reprogram it? Um, like how does those actionables kind of play into it?
Well, I recently did a session exactly for procrastination, who basically was somebody that was feeling lazy. And actually, I found out that the way his laziness was translated is being procrastinating on things. It was based on inaction, so basically not doing anything. So what's great in hypnosis is you can do plays of words. So inaction, literally jumping into action, like in action. If you
Mhm.
switch the concept upside down, actually you used this concept in the positive way instead of just making it like a burden to the person. So regarding procrastination, there were underlying causes, and I actually elicited. So basically, I listed out what's possible for the person to be living positively with it. So he used some kind of trance themes that were really strongly attached to it, like the dream outcome, what he really wanted to do with that.
Mhm.
And all I did was amplify the positive trance state, and yeah, it was fixed.
Is it a lot of trying to uncover the entire list of limiting beliefs that go along with it before, or just, you just have to find one and then start kind of reframing there? Example, because I think victim mentality is so rampant nowadays in our society, and let's look at procrastination again. Um, because I'm belief that procrastination is a coping mechanism. It's a dysregulated nervous system, and people want to fall
Hmm.
behind of, oh, my childhood was awful. Like, oh, I'm not good enough. Like, oh, I don't know what I want. Oh, I have ADD. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Sure.
Um, is it important to go through these one by one and be able to identify them so that there's nothing for them to fall back on? Or is it doesn't matter, we just identify one thing, but we focus on what they do want instead?
So actually, I see through it. What I mean by this is when people complain or even play the victim, it's
Mhm.
because they need attention, but they solicit like the wrong kind of attention, like the pity attention. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So, but basically, they're in need of attention, and the only coping mechanism they came with is basically, oh, if I undermine myself, if I put myself less, people will come to me because of their pity. But if you come with the right intent, which is basically, okay, I see you're in pain, I'm here to help. I'm not here to listen to any kind of bullshit. I can see through it and I can actually prove it to you. People connect unconsciously, even though they may still need to complain about everything. As long as they see that you're really a force for good for them, it's enough for them to reassure that you can actually do something for them. So, I actually personally find it kind of irritating when people keep complaining about their life. I have to make a lot of efforts to not slap them in the face, you know what I mean?
mm.
And really, it's a healthy reaction because I'm there to help, but I know that people have to express everything they went through at some point, even though from step one I already see what I can do for them. But it's part of the empathy. The more you let people express what they have on their heart, the better they feel. It's like they were released from the weight, like
Mhm.
a weight, a heavy weight.
Mhm.
And once those people have expressed everything they needed to express, then you have to ask them, of course, if you can formally help them, and then you do the change work. And it's magical once they're relieved from that.
Yeah, sympathy is one hell of a drug. And like I
Yeah.
said, that victimhood mentality, boo hoo, woe is me. Like I can see where the starve for attention kind of plays a part in kind of anchoring somebody down and hindering their progress. With that being said, like, do you have people that backtrack with this? Does it get to a point where I like to call it the terror barrier, where maybe they're starting to make progress and you see it with addicts all the time, like, oh, I'm doing really well, I'm going to go and self-sabotage, and they start to backslide again. Do you see people that want to, of course, kind of jump at a lower ledge so that they have like a softer landing and fall? Or maybe they fall into being like, I don't think this is working. Like, I don't believe in hypnosis anymore. Like, this isn't for me. Like, what do you do? Well, first off, is it common? Is it not that common? And then if that does happen along the way, because there's always some discomfort and growth, how do you overcome that with a protocol, or is it you just got to see it through, like the course of action?
Yeah, absolutely. So first, when I said that I help people quit smoking,
Mhm,
so it's one kind of an addiction. There are other kinds of addictions, but with any kind of addiction, it's the same. You can't expect relapse to happen. It's expected. So what I can do using hypnosis is really saying each time you have a craving,
mhm,
you can actually feel proud of yourself because you know that you're doing the right thing. And
mhm,
because of that, it makes you more confident because the more cravings you have, the less intense they will occur in the course of the future. So the more cravings happen, at some point you will even expect the next craving to be not that bad. So it's one way of encouraging the person to actually go through the whole withdrawal process very easily. Also, what I do is I personally support people. I encourage them to keep me updated after the session. Pretty much each person I hypnotize, I give them my number and ask them to keep me in touch, to keep me updated from their situation to make sure there's everything went fine. There's nothing I have to adjust. And if needed, I do a little adjustment, even if it's only 5 minutes here and there.
mhm.
So this is one thing, yeah. Yeah.
Is there exercises that people can do? Like, do you give them homework in a sense when they leave? Because I know that tapping is a pretty common thing I hear about, just having more of an awareness of when things start to rise, whether it's dealing with anxiety or um, just repetitive thoughts, and just trying to, again, regulate the nervous system to get them in a state. And I love Dr. Jed Brewer. He spoke a lot about this when it came to addiction and trying to get through recovery. He calls it finding a BBO, or a bigger, better offer. And the first step on that is the awareness. Like, for example, we'll go with smoking again, since it's such a simple and easy one to understand.
Mhm.
When you start to have that craving, like, or you start to smoke itself, like, how many things can you pick up about it? Like the feeling, the smell, the taste. Do you have exercises like that you give people in those moments where maybe the cravings arrive, or maybe a feeling of lack, or just, yeah.
The simplest way to handle that would be to anchor something. You know what an anchor is? Or do you want me to explain what an anchor is?
Go ahead and explain it for people that might not know.
Okay, so an anchor basically it's an action associated to something. So basically, if I tell you each time you make a fist, you feel strength. Basic anchor, like you make a fist and therefore you feel the strength going through your whole body. You feel the biceps is contracting and everything. But if I say each time you close your eyes with the intent of actually feeling better, next time you close your eyes and you truly want to feel better in general, in this case you will
Mm,
feel better each time you close your eyes. So actually, I can anchor this with anything related to the session. So if each time you have a craving for cigarettes, all you have to do is think to yourself, it's okay, the craving will fade. Something as simplistic as that can be enough for people to actually handle cravings. Of course, you also have to strengthen the anchor and make it happen on the right time. But that's more technical. But yeah, basically, you attach something positive to any kind of event you can actually trigger.
Mhm.
You can also anchor a state of hypnosis. That's something I do a lot. Is during the session, I say, in the near future, anytime you really need or want to use this kind of emotion or feeling, you can reaccess it just by thinking about it.
Mm. Is this something that you can transfer over into multiple things at once? Like if you're trying to hypnotize yourself for like several different goals, like for example, I want to quit biting my nails, but I want to also be more abundant. I want to have more self-confidence. I don't want to be procrastinating as much. Are you able to do multiple things at one time? Does that get like overshadowed? Is it something you have to do like, well, let's focus on this first, focus on this next, then we'll do this next?
The answer is yes and no. Actually, it's more efficient to do one thing at a time.
Mhm,
But in some cases, let's say you have a fear of dark, the fear of the dark, and also something happened during the when you were in the dark. Well, if I get rid of this event that happened when you were in the dark, you may not have the fear of the dark anymore.
mhm,
But it's more optimal if you do, okay, first the dark phobia, you do that first, then you do this, then you do that. It's far more efficient because it's like separate different blocks in your brain that are separated one from the other. Because if something triggers the whole block to occur,
mhm.
the other blocks would also fall. Make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yes, it does. No, it definitely does. So do you want to tackle like the biggest thing first, or do you want to work up to it by maybe the smaller challenges and get those wins under your belt so that you're reinforcing that belief system?
Well, it depends on the client's motivation. Basically, I'm not really fond of convincers, like like making your hand levitate. I can do that also, but
Mhm,
if somebody needs conviction, what I can do is first tackle something easy. Well, um, phobia is technically easy to be handled. Like if you have, I don't know, like you have a phobia of heights, a fear of heights, or you want to the fear of elevators, something like that, because
mhm,
it's demonstratable. So, well, actually, people, once they see that hypnosis works, you can address something that was more serious because they already are convinced that
mhm.
it works because you made it demonstrable.
Okay, gotcha. And if somebody's wanting to get started on this, maybe they're curious about it, they're kicking, the rock over with curiosity. Of course, working one-on-one with somebody is always the best approach in getting something more personalized to them. But what about people that are interested in self-hypnosis? Um, is that, I don't want to say as good, but is that like an acceptable route to go? Is it effective? How do people typically want to get started in that kind of realm as well?
So self-hypnosis, the best way is actually to get somebody to hypnotize you and to anchor the feeling.
Mhm,
So if you want to get into self-hypnosis, I could actually put you into trance first, anchor the feeling, and then say, all right, each time you want to go into self-hypnosis, all you have to do is to think about, okay, I want to go into self-hypnosis. And then from there on, you direct your own thoughts and feelings and everything that you want to experiment with, like your heartbeat, your heart rate, your blood pressure, anything like that.
mhm,
It's like in a video game, like you are literally mastering it's like you're in a ship and you're going left. You see what happens when you go left, when you go right. You literally explore your whole body. You don't
mhm.
have to be really technically advanced to do self-hypnosis. All you have to do is to explore what's happening. You
How does
know,
the,
one,
oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
How,
So once I went to a festival, I wanted to sleep. And
mhm,
actually, through self-hypnosis, I put the volume of the festival close to zero because I was feeling that the sound was hitting my ears too much and it was bothering me to sleep. So actually lowered the sound of the festival, all thanks to self-hypnosis, so I could go to sleep.
mhm. Interesting. How does this differ from when you're saying entering trance? Can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on that? Because my first thought is the same thing as meditating or trying to get into a meditative state of um, theta, For people that don't know
Mhm.
theta, it's like a slower brainwave. So how is that different from, meditation or prayer or just sitting in stillness? Because that's like you can go down so many rabbit holes of different meditation techniques.
Yeah. Well, there's many ways to get into trance. Of course, you can go through theta, but that it's only one kind of trance. You can also have an energetic trance, like you're going in a concert and you get the vibes and everything. This is
Mhm.
also a state of trance. So it's not really the state that's important, it's the way you actually enter it. So it's how do you shift the whole perspective, and what you do in this state of trance is what hypnosis is all about.
So how do you, for example, I'm sitting at my house, like by myself, and I'm wanting to go ahead and enter the state and elicit, self-hypnosis. What's the
Mhm.
most, probably maybe the most common way to do it, most easiest way for a newcomer to try it out and explore that?
Well, if you want, instead of talking about it, I can do you a short demonstration.
Oh,
So you can
absolutely.
so you can actually experience what it's like to be hypnotized, and I can also, as I told you, anchor the state of trance. So later on, you can play with it and actually explore what you feel like doing from your own initiative in this sense. Is that cool for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So have you been
I'm I'm
hypnotized
I'm the
before?
guy. I'm the guy that would raise my hand and run up on stage like, "Yo, make me do a chicken dance." So yeah, I definitely want to try it out.
Okay, so there's many ways to do. There's the subtle way and the more obvious way. Which one do you prefer?
Um, is it whatever's the most effective? I'm curious on
Okay.
what's the most common or easy for you?
Well, the most common is the obvious way. It's like the formal hypnosis. When I ask you to close your eyes, you actually close your eyes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
What I like to do sometimes is to do open trance, open eyes trance. So basically, you keep your eyes open and at some point, well, let's do it this way. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So, okay, so listen really carefully to, yeah, make
Do I need to
yourself at
like,
ease.
I'll say, do I need to get like in a comfortable position or sit back or
Uh, as as much as you want to feel relaxed, you can do whatever you feel like.
I'm just gonna sit back just a little bit more then.
Okay. Okay, so I want you to pay close attention to the sound of my voice because each second that goes by from now on to the until the end of this hypnosis session, you will feel more and more relaxed all throughout this hypnosis session. You can feel the time fading, the way you sense things, the way you listen to my voice, the way you comprehend what's happening. All of that is slowly fading away into the distance. You can feel more relaxed by every second that goes by, feeling twice as relaxed, feeling all right. Just adjusting every parameter of your mind, the way you actually feel yourself connected to your whole body, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Feel this energy flowing all around your body and feel the connection strengthening itself. The way you actually feel like everything's all right. The way you breathe, the way it's going from shallow to more deep and relaxed, and just enjoying the moment as it occurs right now. Adjusting it to be close to perfection, because this is only the beginning of an amazing journey, an amazing experience, something strong, something powerful that you will have the opportunity to discover far more in the future once you're bored or alone in your head. You can do this anytime, just the way you feel right now. The fact that you want to explore self hypnosis, when you explore self hypnosis, you will now have the control over your physiology. And if you want, you can even play with your heart rate, your heartbeats. Really feel, sense the way your heart beats, the way you actually can go it faster or slower. It's up to you. You can also play with the sounds, make the treble more scintillant and the bass more bassy. It's up to you. It's like you're in a studio of your own head and you have everything to change whenever you feel like it. You can also let everything like it's exactly supposed to be. But now you have your own playground to be enjoying. And now that you have a small glimpse of what hypnosis is, you can get back to the room feeling fresh, relaxed, alert, simply fantastic. Take your time because there's not any kind of hurry. Because now you know what it is to be hypnotized, and you can enjoy this later, if not yet, because you did an amazing job. I'm really proud of your work. The change you actually put together may sound like it's subtle, but I'm sure that you have acquired this amazing skill of doing self-hypnosis, and you will only explore how it feels like even more once you get your hands on it yourself, because this is only the beginning of the rest of your life. So thank you very much, and tell me with a little sign or anything when you're back, when you're fully back, because once you are fully back, you will notice that you now have something different in your arsenal, like a new tool that you can sharpen, that you can actually adjust, that you can even use in any kind of situations, consciously or even unconsciously. Because the more you use this tool, the more it gets useful. And the more it gets useful, the more you want to use it without even really realizing you're using it. That's the beauty of hypnosis. And self-hypnosis in this case is like your hidden power, your secret weapon. All those kind of things are strictly amazing and personal to you. So of course you can get back to the room at any time, but only when you are 100% sure that you have acquired this new tool of self-hypnosis. And I'm sure that you will experiment with self-hypnosis, perhaps even during this interview. By the end of it, you may even use it later on without really realizing it, but I'm sure you're doing good with it. Of course, only use it for good because it is like a sacred tool in your arsenal. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, feel free to manifest yourself to make sure that everything aligns together, that your chain of thoughts are put together, and that you're feeling fine because you did amazing. And I'm proud to have you helped you through this together. And I'm sure that you have a lot of other things you can talk about, which is fine, of course. But now you know exactly what I mean by hypnosis
Mm,
in my own style, don't you?
mm. I do. Wow. That was surprisingly relaxing. Um, and yeah, calm, I guess is the word I want to put with it. Um, and there's like a lot of awareness, I guess, in my body.
Hmm.
Um, I feel grounded.
You feel grounded.
Yeah, I feel grounded and relaxed. And as you would say things like I could adjust my heart rate and I could feel it and I could feel the timbre like in the tone and the bass of like when my heart would be pounding, I feel like I was able to amplify it or speed it up or slow it down and control my body. Um, and I very rarely blinked, which is um, very uncommon for me because I get dry eyes very easily, so I'm always blinking. So,
Hmm.
um, very cool. Very cool to sit in that.
Yeah, actually, you barely blinked the whole time, which is a state of trance. It's a sign of trance. So you blinked like 3 times in the whole session.
Mhm.
I don't know if we can see this on the footage, but it means that you're really focused on yourself, on what's happening during the session, which is a sign of receptivity.
Yeah, it was very cool. Because
Yeah.
something that I've been working on for a very long time is regulating my nervous system, and creating and cultivating a sense of safety for myself. So somatically, I have a very hard time of getting out of my head and trying to tap into my body. So, yeah, like I said, that was very therapeutic in a way to sit in that, um, and actually feel anchored in, uh, physically.
And you know, I even have a feeling that if you were to be doing this again on your own,
Hmm.
not especially right now, but later on, when you put yourself in the same state of trance, the same state of mind,
Hmm.
you would literally not be blinking that much anymore for during the time being that you do the session. Or if you
Hmm.
do it closed eyes, you will have another feeling.
Very cool. Do I need to do it with a recording? Can I do it without one and just have that mental rehearsal in my mind of what to be focusing on? Or
So basically, if you want to do self-hypnosis, you don't need a recording because otherwise you would be interfering. Your own state of trance would be interfered with the one of the recording.
Mhm.
But if you want to go into hypnosis for any purpose, and a hypnotist is there to help you to do so, well, in this case, just listen to a recording or to somebody doing it live to you, with
Mm.
you.
Maybe give me some advice on this. I would love to, because I was selfishly thinking about this before, for our call, thinking what's something that I'd like to get over or attract. And I was sitting there thinking about cultivating more abundance or maybe trying to get more money to flow to me. I have a very, ooh, excuse me, I have a very bad habit of biting my nails,
Mm-hmm.
and I would like to eliminate that.
Okay.
So maybe some guidance on how to overcome the nasty habit.
Okay. So, okay, I have a strange question for you. Why would you like to stop to bite your nails?
Um, I think it looks disgusting to have the nails. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed when women see my hands on dates. I don't like to be looked at while I'm doing it. And also, frankly, it's just disgusting because there's so many germs and parasites underneath your nail beds.
Okay. Okay. Um, that's one way of saying things. What's the opposite of that? Let's say you have perfect nails, like you don't bite them anymore.
Mhm.
You say it's disgusting to actually when people see you biting your nails, especially women when you go on dates. What's the ideal situation of this? You have perfect nails, you don't need to bite anymore. What's happening in this case?
Uh, I I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be thinking about it if I don't do it. Or I'd be happy that I've overcome the challenge of biting my nails and I don't do it anymore.
Okay, okay. Um, because there's one thing. Okay, okay. Let's try it this way. I'm thinking out loud for a second. Sorry about that. So, okay, I can give it a go. So you're ready for another ride?
Let's do it.
Okay. So this would be a more interactive state of trance. It can even be in a conversational fashion. So I told you there is a formal state of trance. Informal is more conversational. So basically, we have a conversation, and at some point, you will see that I talk a little more. and you will actually listen a little more. And the
Hmm.
more you listen, the more it makes sense, the more it clicks. This is actually a beginning of a conversation hypnosis, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
All you have to do is to really want to quit biting your nails, to find something useful to do instead, and actually to relax in all those kind of situations where you just feel like releasing the tension, just like that. Especially when you go out on dates, when you meet new women or people in general, all those kind of things. Just picture what it feels like, how you look like, the way you actually see things, the way you behave, the way you just are. All those things. Picture them in very precise details. Enhance the colors. Make sure they're accurate. Make sure they inspire you. Inspire other people. Like a beautiful painting. All those things put together are far from the disgusting feelings of what used to be done before. Because the past is behind and the future is yet to come. But now you know it's possible for you to do so because you haven't bitten your nails today during this whole conversation. At least I didn't notice it. So you have this ability, this capability of
Mm.
not doing it all. It's just a matter of choice when you think about it, especially when you know it's nasty. It's horrible. So just forget about everything that's wrong in this fashion, in this way, and remember to focus on what you really wanted to do, the outcome. And not just now, not just in the past, but also picture like a dozen situations in front of you where this nasty habit used to occur and put them into the future. But this time, make sure that those habits are adjusted in the right way and fashion. And therefore, you are now able to decide. Of course, you can still do it if you feel like, but only if it's the only option possible, which I'm 100% sure there's many other options in those particular kinds of situations. And I know you are very courageous as a person, I can feel it. And you are tenacious in another way. So when you choose to do something useful, instead of just being, in a sense, lazy, you have this ability to do so anytime you feel like. You always are master of your thoughts. You always know what to think, what to do, right on time. And therefore, when it does make sense, you just do whatever feels right to you, and for the others. If you feel like doing so for the others, you always decide who you are and what you're supposed to do in this particular situation. Doesn't mean that you won't ever do it again. Just means that it only happens when it's the last possible option that you have in life. And there's many other options. In a way, you can even procrastinate in doing so if it reassures you, like trying to do it later, and even later than that, because you have other things to do beforehand. And when the moment occurs, of course, you have other things to do beforehand. So it's a never-ending cycle. You will never do it again because you always have something better to do instead. And therefore, I know that you have this amazing ability to even be in control, like right now. Make sense?
Mm, absolutely.
So you can feel the strength of your own thoughts in this whole situation
Mm,
because I'm really fond of giving people the choice of doing things, you know.
hmm.
You are still in control of everything. It's you every action you make is your own decision.
mm,
It's I just give you the choice, I provide you with the right choices to do and the alternatives to actually that are more enticing to your life. That's
mm.
basically what's happening.
Yeah.
It's just my style. It's I don't want to threaten people not to do anything because some people are rebels and they say, oh, this guy told me to do this, I will do exactly the opposite. It's called a polarity responder. Many people are like that. But what I do is I politely provide them with the right choice and make them responsible for their actions.
Mm, mm. Yeah, I could see that. I could feel the I don't want to say hand holding, but like you definitely helped me cross the street on those passing thoughts. And I think the easiest way to describe it was reaffirming that I do have a choice. I do have discipline. I do have the capability of saying, "Oh no, I can overcome these like reckless decisions," and in the moment say like, "Oh, I don't want to do this." Like it was a reaffirmation of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Um, with that being said, if someone was stuck in a loop of maybe knowing what to do, they have a
Mhm.
goal, they know like what needs to be done, but they never do it. Um, like they just don't have the follow through, or they never take action in the first place. Like, what would maybe be like a powerful closing remark on here's the best way to approach this?
Um, so my theory in this case would be because of two things,
Mhm,
fear or comfort, or both. So how do you overcome fear in general?
mhm.
It's a question too.
Oh, how do I overcome fear?
Yeah.
Yeah, d taking the action. I'm a very big advocate that fear or inaction breeds fear and doubt, and then taking action actually builds the courage.
Hmm. Okay. And how do you avoid comfort?
Um, I'm really bad at that. I yeah, no, I slide into comfort pretty easily. Um, yeah,
Well,
maybe, maybe
that's where discipline comes into play.
yeah. Um, I guess I have that limiting belief. My limiting belief would be that I'm a very impulsive person where I get very lit up in the moment of motivation. And like gasoline, it's a very quick spark that goes out, and then I fall back into the comfort realm because things either get too hard or my mindset sits there and says, "No, let's not do this."
Okay. Because you didn't seem that impulsive to me, right? Through the whole conversation, you were really patient. You didn't seem that impulsive to me. So either
Mm,
you lack the impulsivity to do so, or you're really strong at hiding the way you actually are impulsive. Either
mm,
way, it's indeed a limiting belief to me. I don't know why this limiting belief occurred, when it comes from, where it comes from, but basically, I'm not convinced.
mm.
So can you show me what impulsivity looks like to you? Like how you are impulsive?
With just some, I think, financial decisions. For examples, I've taken a lot of opportunities to leave a job very quickly to pursue other avenues, and then not follow through on 'em. Or I'll invest in courses or additional coaches and get bought in on this dream, but maybe a month or two into a program or course, I just start to stall out. And then I get caught in the mindset of, oh, what a waste of money I just went through, and this didn't follow through, this didn't work out on me. I'm doomed to repeat this cycle. I think it falls into categories like that.
Okay, there's a term for that. It's not especially the shiny object syndrome, but it's more like squirreling, like you try something, you don't get instant results, therefore you try something else and stuff like that. But basically, if you were to stick to it, it's not because you're impulsive. It's not how I see it. It's just somewhat of a lack of courage. Sorry, I'm theoretizing my own thoughts here, but what
Yeah.
I see is a lack of courage and motivation, but also a lack of application. You know, like if you really stick to one thing,
Mm,
that's it. It's that it sounds simple. It's not easy at all. You have to requires a lot of effort and discipline to do so.
mhm,
And discipline within itself is a skill that strengths strengthens itself the more you practice. So
mm,
I myself am currently doing training for a semi-marathon, so I know what it feels like. I'm only at the beginning, but it's a non-negotiable for me to when I have to run to basically go jogging.
mm. Where does, and do you think that maybe a lack of focus falls into this as well? Um, or maybe dopamine spikes. Like I hear dopamine detox as a common buzzword nowadays. So I'm
hmm
curious if these all kind of tie in together. If it's like, hey, same coin, just different side, you know?
Well, dopamine detox. Yeah, it's a very trendy term indeed, but there's nothing really wrong with dopamine. It's where it comes from. Because if you get instant dopamine from, watching, scrolling on social media or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, that dopamine comes but without any effort. That's why it's good. Well, dopamine is, I'm not a specialist on the dopamine itself, but what I know is if you get happiness from inaction, that actually strengthens the fact that it encourages you to be even more lazy.
Mm,
So it's actually by doing stuff that provide the right dopamine that actually is healthy for your brain.
love it. And we've really got about maybe 5, 6 more minutes left. So, um, with that same train of thought, I want to get into kind of how people can find you, where you can get plugged in. But real quick, since we're um, on this track of just limiting beliefs, things that are anchoring and like keeping us stagnant. Maybe if you had one message for everyone that maybe falls in this category, I know that you work with a lot of coaches. Maybe what's one big mindset shift that everyone needs to adopt to start seeing some progress in their life? And then maybe a technique that can help them get started in that path.
So the first advice would be assuming or even knowing it's possible.
Mhm,
What I mean by this is believing it's possible, even not knowing especially how, but just starting to believe that um, whatever you want to reach in your life is possible. That's the first step. The second step would be to, yeah, experiment. If you experiment on a daily basis for a couple minutes here and there, you'll be surprised how many things happen to you, even though you don't consciously manifest what's happening. The
mhm,
fact that you just like yoga, it's similar to yoga if you do self-hypnosis. If you really gather your thoughts together and make sure that you focus your attention on one thing on the daily basis, you'll be surprised how strong the results will be in a very short period of time.
mhm. Good. Very good, man. Well, Dennis, I absolutely have loved this conversation we've had today. It's definitely opened up. As somebody who loves to dive into psychology, neuroplasticity, the mind itself, I've definitely enjoyed this and taking away a lot from this conversation. So I definitely appreciate your time. Real quick, for people that want to get plugged in, that want to go a little bit deeper, maybe work one-on-one with you and help uh, take some action in their lives, where can people find you? Like, what are you doing right now? Where are you at? And how can people get in touch to change their world, man?
So I have YouTube, I have Instagram, I have TikTok, also my own website. So basically, if you put in Trance Fusion Hypnosis, so Trance Fusion is my brand, plus hypnosis on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you'll find me. And if you want to reach out to me, you can send me a message through those platforms or go to trance-fusion.com. Trance-fusion.com. That's my official website. I'm currently updating it, but at least you will have the front end of the website today. It's under construction, but it's still functional. So if you go to it right now, it's always worth a try.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, thank you so much again. Dennis VE with Transfusion coming at you to help you change your life and reprogram your mindset. So thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. See you.
See you, buddy.